What is Tu Ti Gong in the inner traditions and Feng Shui? Everything in the universe has energy. And this energy has a certain level of intelligence. So throughout the whole universe, these different types of energies also have energy beings that control them. So in the Chinese tradition, this energy being, this prosperity being is called Tu Ti Gong. Tu Ti Gong because the earth, the ground, is the most physical of these different energies. And in prosperity is very, very material, okay? So Tu Ti Gong is the deity that many Chinese people and even Korean, maybe Japanese people, where they put an altar on the floor and offer to. So this Tu Ti Gong is the being of prosperity. The more he likes you, the more prosperity come into your life. So that is Tu Ti Gong in the inner traditions. Is door facing south good in Feng Shui? Traditionally, in many Chinese schools, they always say that south is good for prosperity, good health, and other things in Feng Shui. In order to really understand this, you have to understand that in Feng Shui, there's two types. There's directional Feng Shui, wherein each direction has a certain energies that come to you, and there's form Feng Shui. So these two schools, one emphasizes on the energy that comes to you, the other one emphasizes on the shapes and the environment that directly affect you. So in Feng Shui, it has to do with when you're sitting down, what is sharp, what is round, how it affects your energy field. Now, in directional Feng Shui, these energies that come towards you from different directions could either increase your energy level, drop your energy level, or it could bring you prosperity or otherwise. Now, the south brings in a certain energy that is good for stimulating, but it also drains. Okay? So traditionally, they like south. They don't realize that the reason the Chinese Feng Shui masters like south, it is based on geography. See, if you're in the middle of China, the cold air comes in from the north, from Mongolia. Now, the south is where the equator is. So the warm air comes up. So they always say, face your front door south. They don't realize it's part of geography, not necessarily have to do with energy. So that part on door facing south is good for you is due to geography, not due to these invisible forces that actually affect you. So in Planning Feng Shui, we'll go in detail on what are the different directions and which one brings you a lot more prosperity and energy, and that's not the south. Will Feng Shui help healers and patients? So our bodies have energy centers, and these energy centers absorb fresh energy, and then the energy moves around, which generates this aura or energy field. Now, when your body's healthy, that means this energy is flowing freely and the organs are being fed with fresh prana and life force. If you have good Feng Shui, the environment will now feed you more healthy energy so the body can heal faster. So as a healer, if you have good Feng Shui in your healing center, you will notice your patients and your clients will heal faster. If your place has bad Feng Shui, they will still improve, but you have to work extra hard to give them energy. Now for yourself, for you to be healthy, in order to help a lot of people, you also have to have good Feng Shui, because if you have good Feng Shui, when you're resting, when your body's resting, your body can recuperate and recharge faster. When you're working, a lot more energy flows through you, so when you're healing someone, the effect is faster. So Feng Shui definitely affects you because you're swimming in this energy around you. Most Feng Shui books are very, very thick. Why is the Pranic Feng Shui class only one day? Here's the problem. If you talk to people in Feng Shui, there's so many different schools, there's so many different traditions. And a lot of them are based on teachings that are passed on from generation to generation. So sometimes, or actually a lot of times, a lot of this information being passed down is being partially changed or distorted as it goes down generation by generation. So think about it. If 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, some Feng Shui master said something about, which direction is good for you, which type of energy is good for money, for health, for relationship, for sleeping, that information, as it's passed on generation to generation, could get distorted. So every generation, they add their own little thing to it. They add a little thing. So that's why the books get thicker, thicker, and thicker, and thicker. Now, what my teacher, Grandmaster Chok Sui, did is he started from scratch, helped people who could see energy actually look at a lot of these principles and validate them. Say, oh, okay, when they say this direction is good, why is it good? How does it affect your prosperity chakra? How does it affect your heart? How does it affect your physical health? So by looking through these, he noticed that there's an essence to all these different feng shui principles. So all these big, thick books of different rules and traditions suddenly become very, very small if he were to write a book, because a lot of the superstitions are removed. That's why when you come to pranic feng shui, we don't just say, oh, believe this because this is how it's supposed to be. We actually use our hands to feel this energy. When we say this direction is good for money, we scan the basic chakra, your prosperity chakra. When they face that direction, the basic chakra gets big. When we say, oh, this direction is good for spirituality, we scan the crown chakra. When we scan, oh, the crown gets big. When we say this direction is good for relationships, we scan the heart. When they face that direction, the heart gets big. So that's why in one day alone, you can learn so many things because everything is compressed and all the superstitions are removed. Is there a reason that the prosperity being is always smiling? Well, happiness is connected to prosperity, good health, and good relationships. So when a person is very, very prosperous, they're happy. So this prosperity being or this deity is always seen as smiling because when these things like money, health, and relationships are doing very, very well, a person is happy. So when you look at this prosperity being, it does two things. Number one, it's supposed to remind you that having all these things is to bring you happiness. Okay? Some people are very prosperous, but they're not happy. Some people, they have good health, but they're always complaining. So happiness is very, very important if you want to really be a complete person. Happiness comes from having your life in order, your finances are doing well, your relationships are loving and fulfilling, and you have a strong spiritual connection. Okay? And all of that gives you the ability to be able to help other people more. So that's why the prosperity deity is smiling, to remind you to activate your heart, your crown, your other chakras, to always be happy so that you have a good life and it allows you to be able to help and serve others. Number 4 is an unlucky number. Is this true? In Chinese and Japanese tradition, the number 4 is looked at as something that is unlucky. So I remember many years ago, I asked my teacher, number 4, why is it so bad in the Chinese and Japanese tradition? He said, actually, this is based on superstition. You see, the number 4, 4, and in Chinese, 4 is very, very similar in tone. So it's just simply because of the tone and the way it sounds, people automatically make that connection. But in reality, the number 4 is not bad. In fact, you will learn in the prosperity class that the number 4 is the frequency or the vibration of bringing things into the real world. In other words, if you have an idea to have a better job, a better relationship, a new car, a new house, the frequency in nature that makes it happen has a vibration of 4. And we'll talk about that. So the number 4 is not good nor bad. It's neutral. Like every number out there, it's good. It's the meaning that you put to it. After taking Kriyashakti in the prosperity class, will I have money? This is something that people always have to realize. When you take a class, you learn the skills that is taught in the class to be able to have a certain objective or outcome. Taking the prosperity class will change the way you think, will help you generate lots of prosperity energy, and as you apply the techniques, you will have money. It doesn't mean that when you take a class suddenly you have money, because you have to first apply the techniques consistently so that you'll be able to produce the results. Is money important to the spiritual practitioner? Money and spirituality are two sides of the same coin. Your spiritual aspirations, your good intentions, need money and resources to make it happen. We always tell people on the spiritual path, first thing you want to do is build a good foundation. If your finances are in good order, it gives you the freedom to go meditate. It gives you freedom to travel to holy places. It gives you the freedom to be very generous to people you care about. It gives you freedom to open up spiritual centers to help lots of people. So having money gives you the freedom to pursue things that are permanent. So a lot of people on the spiritual path, they struggle because there's always this guilt in their mind that money will pull them away from spirituality. The secret is to first understand that money is neutral. If you have a good heart, you have a strong spiritual connection, that will be used to control money. So money now becomes a resource for you to accomplish what you want to accomplish spiritually.